Yo, what up, everybody? It's your boy Francis. I'm doing a little Q&A session, so let's get into it. What do you guys want to know? Tell us about a bit about where you grew up. All right, so my childhood, I grew up in a city called Bellflower, up in the 562, bordering Cerritos, Lakewood, Long Beach, that whole area. Was born and raised there from like 90, and then I moved to Irvine in 2006. But a little bit about Bellflower. It was a very diverse community. A lot of my friends in school were Black, Hispanic, Filipino, Korean, white. So it was really cool to grow up in that kind of environment, kind of learn about everyone's story. It's not the most glamorous place, but you can feel everyone's energy and where they came from and how hard they work, or people's families work to maintain a life in that area. So yeah, it's cool. I have a lot of friends from that area still. Went to school in St. Bernard, St. Dominic Savio, and ILC. So yeah, I was there for most of my childhood, and then 2006 I rolled up to Irvine. That was a little bit of a culture shock because Irvine's a lot like a whole 180 from Bellflower. Bellflower, when I was growing up, there was a block away. There was people selling drugs on the corner when I was a kid. So shoes on the electric wires. So that kind of wasn't. It was safe, but what was going on over there. You just didn't want to be out too late. Versus here in Irvine, very suburban and very safe, very new to me. When I grew up, I was a little bit of a culture shock. Everything was nice. I wasn't used to it. Mostly white people and Asians, so I was just like not as diverse as I thought it would have been. But then, when school started coming around, that's when it got a little bit more diverse versus like when I first moved and just noticed the area. But yeah, that's where I met most of the crew from the K4V3, Beckman High School, class of '08. What's happening? But yeah. All right, question 2. Can you tell us about the role of sports in your life growing up? Oh man, sports for me, especially basketball, was a way to make friends. If anything, like I said, I went in Bellflower. I went to 3 different schools, and then I went to high school for my freshman year at Servite in Anaheim. So every time I went to each school, especially when I was younger, I'd always go to the courts and try to make friends that way. And I wasn't sorry. I knew I was good enough, so I used my skills that I learned throughout the years to, kind of prove to everyone that, hey, I can play. Pick me on your team. Don't pick me last. I know I'm not getting picked first, but you can pick me second or third. But yeah, it was a lot about making friends. Are there any controversial sports opinions you hold? Damn. I think Mayweather's a bitch for trying to make Pacquiao do a blood test, because for what? No one's doing blood tests. It's not the Olympics. Why did you make the rules? I know Jerizi right now in the background wants to speak up, but he can't this time. So that's what I think. I think Mayweather was running from Pac-Man. Even though I give it to Mayweather, I think he's the better fighter for sure, but I think they should have met a little bit sooner in their careers. I don't know why, but at the same time, Mayweather had to do what he had to do. So that's what I think. I don't think there should have been a blood test, because who does blood? I don't even know who does blood tests there. Do they do blood tests in UFC? I'm a casual when it comes to the combat sports realm, but That's what I think. Maybe another one too I like to add is Michael Jordan's dad died at the hands of the mafia or something for some gambling debts or something. So that one is just a little too fishy for his car to just be found in the middle of the road. I don't think it was a random act of violence. I think it was a hit for sure. Who is your favorite basketball player and why? Oh, you already know it's Kobe Bryant, man. I think, well, mainly, so my pops got me into basketball when I was 4, and that's around the time with MJ. But that being that young, I didn't really, I, I was, how should I say this? Attention, it grabbed my attention. I was very intrigued by, like Michael Jordan and stuff like that. I didn't really like grasp the game itself, the IQ, until maybe like 98, 99. And that's when, of course, Kobe got drafted in 96, but that's when Kobe really started coming onto the scene. And that's when I had a full grasp, not a full grasp, but a better grasp of basketball and how it should be played and what the best basketball player, in my opinion, at that time, should play like. And the reason why I like him is his relentless mentality. He doesn't give a shit if he misses 20 shots in a row. He's gonna take another one. It could be frustrating as a kid to watch it, but then the older I grew up, it's just like that mentality of not caring and being who, if anything, that was him being who he wanted to be. He didn't pass because or not take a shot because he was scared, or it was his personality to be that kind of player, and it showed not just in the court but outside the court as well. When he retired, his business deals were some of the best that I've seen. So yeah, rest in peace, Mamba. Describe yourself in 3 words. 3 words. Chill, for sure. Nice, maybe too nice at times. Maybe, and then also impulsive. Sometimes I just be doing shit just because I feel it's right, even though I didn't put much thought into it. I'm a gambling man. How has your experience been with the cave? Oh, it's been great. I get to talk with my friends about sports and other cool shit. I know I'm not part of the conspiracy realm, but every time I get asked to do the cave sports segments with like Zach or Naro or any of the other guys, Jermaine and Jerezy, it's always fun discussions regarding sports and culture. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been a great way to connect with some of my old friends from high school too. It gives me an outlet to speak about things that interest me, and hopefully down the line we can have a longer reach or a wider reach to other people that align with us and our personalities as well, and so we can build a community. How do you manage the stress of sports betting? Oh shit, I don't even bet that much anymore. I learned the hard way. Instead of doing like $100 units, I went to like $10 to $20 units. So now I'm just having fun at that point. If I lose 10 or 20, fine, that's cool. If I make 20, cool. Get some lunch money, get some gas money. But before I was kind of, like I said, back to my impulsiveness, I was kind of feeling it too much, and sometimes the feeling wasn't right. So learned the hard way. Now I just bet for fun. I don't do it to make a lot of money. I do it to make a little bit of money that could, pay for dinner here and there with my girl or put some gas in the car, but nothing life-changing. Can you share some of your favorite NBA moments? Oh, shit. Well, most recently, my mom was able to snag some courtside tickets to the Warriors-Clippers game last season, and to see that up close. Curry dropped like 40-something points, and I mean, it's it's you can watch it on TV as much as you want, but when you're there seeing the fluid motion and the quickness, it's just crazier in person. The physicality, like you can see it. Even though the NBA might call some soft ass calls sometimes, there's a lot of stuff too that they get away with, and you can feel that, you can see that physicality, and just listening to the shit talking, the jibber jabber on the bench, it's like music to my ear. So that was one of my favorite moments, and I was also able to catch one of Kobe's last games. Man, that season was crazy. I went to like 4 Laker games trying to catch him, and he only played in one of them. But luckily, I was able to catch one. He played against the Wizards. Of course, they were ass. The Lakers were ass that year, but it was nice to catch one in person of Kobe before he retired. So he made a couple of threes in the first half and fadeaways. So it was nice. Good times. How did you react when you won your first major sports bet, number 9? Like it's on the ticker. Hey, yo, I was going, shit, what was I think the first major one, shout out to my boy Johnny for picking Colin Morikawa to win, I forget which tournament, but they were playing on some course in NorCal, and I guess Colin Morikawa has played that course multiple times, and I won like $2,000 off like $150 bet pre-tournament, so the odds were really good. And to see that, like, I remember working with Johnny. The tournament ends on Sunday, and we were keeping track of it the whole day, working at Lobsterdamus. And when we finally, and it was close, and when we finally got the word that he won, we were just jumping up and down, taking shots. Yeah, it was a good time. That's the bet that got me into it for sure. How have conspiracy theories discussed on cave influenced your worldview? It hasn't really influenced my worldview much. I mean, I agree some things I don't really know about. For me, it's maintaining what I already know, that the world and the governments are all corrupt. So I'm going to control whatever I can control. And if someone wants to start a revolution, I'll join. Until then, I'm going to just be in my lane. Who is your dream guest for the Cave podcast? Shit. I got 2. I'm going to take 2. One for sports and one for like business. I definitely want to have Gary Vaynerchuk on here, pick his brain. He did a lot for me when I had my business and mindset and mentality and just positive things to listen to when you're going through it. So yeah, definitely him. And second, oh man, for basketball, shit, I want to interview Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I think he gets overlooked in the GOAT talk. That skyhook was incredible, playing in the midst of what was that, the segregation laws and all that, when America was divided in that regard, to play in that era, and join alongside like Martin Luther King and Muhammad Ali to lead that charge. I want to pick his brain about that, because I'm sure, you might be playing in New York one day and it's cool, and then you might get a game like in Texas, and you don't really want to wander around Texas during that time when you're a black man. So Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for sure. What's your favorite Marvel movie and why? It has to be fucking Endgame, dude. Shit. I mean, I know that's very cliche, but when you started watching Iron Man in 2008 and you didn't really know, what are these end scenes for? What are they trying to do? And to see it all come to fruition and have every single character that played in a movie some way, somehow, just go into one epic battle was fun. I mean, even being in the theater when that shit was going down, when Captain America got the hammer and he said "Avengers Assemble," and the whole fucking crowd, in the theater was just going ham. I've never seen that before in a theater in my life. So that just shows how much buildup was there and how worth it was to be a part of that ride. Can you share a funny story from your time in cave or sports? I mean, most of the time it's when Danny is in charge of the intro and he's just sitting there not knowing when to start, or there's a miscommunication of some sort and we're just waiting for him to kind of like start it, and it's just like 10-20 seconds goes by and we're like, okay. So it's not, I mean, we try to make it not awkward, but then after the segment's done, it's always fun to poke at Danny and saying he fucked up. What's your favorite basketball movie or documentary and why? Shit. Okay, favorite basketball movie is He Got Game. Fucking Jesus Shuttlesworth, Ray Allen, and damn, who's that dude from Training Day? God damn it. Trying to blank. Fuck, I gotta look this up real quick. Can't believe I'm missing this. Denzel Washington. Fuck yeah, that was one of my favorite basketball movies. Just the cinematography of Spike Lee and the story was well written, and the acting by Denzel was good. Ray Allen held his own. He tried his best, but just Ray Allen's sweet movies, just kind of as a kid seeing that movie, was fun to see, like that side of the business, because they showed some things that we as kids never really knew about until that movie came. So yeah, it was cool to see that. And then maybe a documentary, The Last Dance for sure, the Michael Jordan 98 and what they did in that season and kind of everything that led to that moment was good to learn, not just about MJ, but like Scottie Pippen, Phil Jackson, Dennis Rodman. And I loved how they had to throw in a little Kobe segment in there as well, because Kobe, of course, was MJ's little brother. So yeah, those two for sure. He Got Game and The Last Dance. What's the biggest lesson you've learned from running Lobsterdomus? Damn, biggest lesson I've learned from running Lobsterdomus is fucking mind over matter. Man, that's the main thing. There'd be times where it's fucking raining and you have to open up still. And it's so demoralizing, but you gotta just stay positive and be like, it's just one day, get through it. It's gonna be ass. Your socks are gonna be wet, but you made a commitment, so stick to it. So yeah, definitely mind over matter and just pushing through. There'd be times where me and my partners, my former business partners, probably running off like 3 hours of sleep, like running on fumes and just making it work. But just pushing through. Yeah, pushing through, mind over matter. That's the biggest lesson I learned. Oh, and one more. Flash is cash. Shout out Uncle Boy. Gotta make your stand look nice. So Flash is cash. How do you maintain a positive mindset in tough situations? For me, mainly is just kind of taking a step back from the situation. Yeah, it's tough. I always use this thing I learned is like, you can only control whatever you can control. If it's something out of your control, there's no reason to be that emotional over it. I mean, of course we're human and we can get emotional, but you got to take a step back and look at the situation and just tell yourself that there's some things I can't control, and if I can't control it, I just gotta adjust. I gotta stick with the cards that are given to me and play my hand the best I can, and from there, just know you'll get dealt a new hand later on too. So just play the hand, and there's a new hand coming through. So that's pretty much how I maintain positive mindsets as much as I can in tough situations. How do you keep up with changes and trends in your industry? Oh, fucking social media, man. I mean, hospitality. There's so many new cool things going on in the food industry, hotels, nightclubs, fucking theme parks. It's just social media, following the right accounts. Like, sure, you can follow like one that I like for food in particular is Eater. They cover every major city in the U.S. and if you want to know anything about food and each city's food and what spots to go to, hit up Eater. That's probably the best place to go to keep up with trends, hottest restaurants, and also every city's like go-to restaurants as well. In regards to like hotels, I follow a lot of Instagram people that just review hotels. They travel a lot. Obviously, they probably get paid by hotels to do reviews by them. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I keep up with the changes and the trends. Can you share some of your favorite NBA moments? Oh, one thing, the first thing that comes to my mind is Derek Fisher's 0.4. I remember it clear as day. I remember when Tim Duncan hit that crazy ass bullshit shot over Shaq. I was like, fuck, man. I mean, the Spurs and Lakers were going at it in the 2000s. So it was always, as a Laker fan, you knew you're going to hit the Spurs at some point. And it's always stressful. And I remember I was with my uncle and my dad, and we're watching, and we were like, this is over. But of course, we got to watch it all the way through. And when Fish hit that shot and he fucking ran to the locker room, me, my dad, uncle are like jumping and hugging each other. Like, we couldn't believe that just fucking happened because it wasn't even like a tip in. He caught the ball and blindly threw it up. He had no idea where the rim was. That was just a lucky shot that took to beat another lucky shot. So yeah, that was one of my favorite NBA moments. And you gotta throw in Kobe's 81 points. I remember I was caught up doing like homework, studying, kind of had it on the side, like on a low volume. And then I kept looking at the screen. I was like, the hell? 60. Okay, that's normal Kobe shit. Then about 70. I was like, fuck, I stopped doing my homework. And I watched it all the way to 81, and I was like in disbelief. And it was like pull-up shots. He wasn't even like Will Chamberlain scored 100, but he was the biggest man on the court, so he was just getting layups. Kobe was pulling up from three, fadeaways. Like it wasn't easy shots, and it was all net. And the best thing about it was he was so poised throughout the whole thing too. He wasn't like beating his chest, like he was just in the zone. So that's that Mamba mentality. What's a skill you think every entrepreneur should have? Learning how to market, for sure. That's the most important. You can have a great product, some great service, a great personality, but if you don't know how to brand and market yourself or the business, you can't go anywhere. Imagine if Nike had a great shoe, but they didn't know how to fucking do ads or didn't know how to brand. Like, no one's gonna buy the shoe. So definitely marketing, learning how to market. There's different ways how to do marketing. So there's another subgenre, which is whether it's like social media marketing, whether it's ads you're good at, something in that realm. I think every entrepreneur should learn a tool or three actually to grow their brand, particularly in social media, because that's the way the trend is. So if you can start in social media, that's probably the easiest way to build your skills. Learning how to brand and create brand awareness and market to the correct audience and niche that you're trying to target. What's one common misconception people have about starting a food business? They think it's easy. It's fucking hard. Yeah, people think they can just jump in. I have this great idea. I want to start this. Great. More power to you. but just know you're in for a roller coaster ride, like with any entrepreneur journey is. But food is tough too because the margins are so small versus like e-commerce or whatever. You buy something for a wholesale price, you can flip it for like 200% versus food. Your margins are like 20 to 30% depending on how tight of a ship you're running. So yeah, definitely people, it's great that you know how to cook a dish, like one dish for like a group of 5 people, but can you make it efficiently so people aren't waiting that long? And is it going to taste the same? Is it going to be up to par from that versus that one dish you made for like 3 or 4 people? Is it going to be the same for 2,000 people over a weekend? So got to keep that in mind. How do you handle criticism or feedback in your business and within the team? Oh, it's easy. I mean, you just don't take anything personal. People have different ways of communicating, even though it may not be the way you want to hear it. You just have to know that the person that's speaking to you about that has the best interest for the business and in yourself because they are trusting you to take the criticism. If they didn't trust you, they would just keep it to themselves. So I look at criticism as a way, maybe as a compliment, because they wouldn't be telling me this if they didn't trust me or like me. So they are trusting me. So they're telling me how they feel about how they think I can do things better. And yeah, you just gotta make sure that you listen to the message versus the tone sometimes, even though I know there's a saying like it's not about what you say, but how you say it. But it kind of goes reverse too, is like you guys got to listen to the clear message. Don't read it in between the lines. Just listen and then take the feedback and use it because the person telling you that cares about you. So yeah, you wouldn't be in a business or a team with them if they didn't care about you in the first place. What's your favorite movie quote? Damn, I don't even know if I remember movie quotes like that. Cowabunga, dude. I don't really know, man. What if K was turned into a movie? Who would you want to play your character? Oh, Simu Liu for sure. Good-looking Asian man playing me. I'm straight. Favorite podcast episode? Oh, definitely is when I got to sit down with one of my old friends, Chris Rosales, learning about his hoop journey and how he became a pro hoop player in the Philippines and even playing in Singapore and the struggles that he had to go through to reach his dreams. So that was really cool. I'm not like super close with him. We know each other from a long time ago, so I actually got to know him more through that episode as well. So I think we created a special bond. So that was really cool. Shout out Chrismo. What movie has had the most impact on you? If I would say impact, I would say Good Will Hunting with Matt Damon and Robin Williams. I think that was a great movie of being able to fight your demons and going into that closet and taking them skeletons out and just being the best that you can be and not conforming to your environment rather than stepping up to the plate and being someone that you're supposed to be, the best version of yourself. So yeah, had a lot of good. Unfortunately, I don't remember any quotes from that. So just watch Good Will Hunting. What do you believe happens when we die? I have a couple theories. I don't have any solid beliefs. I'm just kind of going with the flow in that regard. But part of me feels like we do get reincarnated in some way or some form, whether it's depending on how you were in life, you might get reincarnated into another person. Your personality might be into a baby of some sort, or you could turn into your personality might wake up and you're like a jaguar or a killer whale, or if you're a shitty person, you might be a fucking possum. I don't know. But I do believe that's why I try to live my life as balanced as possible and treating everyone with respect, because I don't want to be reincarnated as a possum. I want to be reincarnated as something pretty cool. But yeah, how has working with the Cave changed your views on podcasting and digital media? Hasn't changed my views. It's basically confirmed what I've been thinking, that it's fun when you get to do it with people that you fuck with. It's also if you want to turn it into a cash flowing business, it's very hard. You got to be consistent. I know that's something that as a team we're trying to work on. But yeah, I don't think it's changed my views. I think it's just been confirming what I thought it would have been. So I know it's fun if you get to talk about things that you like, and it's a great way to express yourself. But in regards to the business side, it's learning how to use everyone's personalities and turn it into a cash flowing business, whether that be through sponsorships or getting people to use our services. Hopefully we can turn this into some sort of marketing service as well based on our skills. So yeah, we're still in the beginning stages, so excited for what's to come and what the men in the cave can come up with. What's your spirit animal? Oh, killer whale, orca for sure. I remember going to SeaWorld and just being freaking, I was like so enamored with it. I was wanting to go to SeaWorld every summer. And then when I watched Blackfish, it kind of fucked me up. But it's like those animals are smart and intelligent and family oriented. So I was like, fuck SeaWorld. I want all my fellow spirit animals to be free. I just love how, I mean, they're like humans. They have different pods. So not every pod has the same cultural or same, they're different cultures. Like some hunt like just salmon, and then others hunt like sea lions on the beach. Each pod has different skills, different sonar waves or languages, so they all speak a little bit differently depending on where they're from. So that's what pretty much interested me after I watched Blackfish. And yeah, and that's why I like orcas. They're intelligent. Can you share a conspiracy theory that you personally believe in? I mean, I don't even know if it's a conspiracy theory anymore, but 9/11 is definitely not what the news told us back in 2001. I don't know the facts or the documents, but I do know that when you see, I think the second plane, a lot of the video footage, it's like edited. Like the plane looks like it just cut through like knife, like a hot knife and butter. And there's also like video recordings of other people like on the other side of the second tower saying that it just exploded out of nowhere. Like there was no plane. And also like the Pentagon being attacked. If it was a Boeing 747 that went to the Pentagon, why is the width of the hole in the Pentagon so small? And then just shit like the steel beams their melting point is at like a certain degree of Fahrenheit, and jet fuel's burning point is like a lot lower than that melting point of the steel beams. So that's another fact that comes into play. And the fact that it looks like the two twin towers, like it fell like as if it was like an old hotel in Vegas being demolished. It just went straight down. So it's all there in front of you. I'm sure it's a popular one too that others believe in, but unfortunately we can't do anything about it. So if someone start a revolution, I'll join. I have guns. I'll be more than happy to help. Is there something about you that you wish more people knew? Nah. There's not a lot of things I wish more people knew. I like to keep certain things about myself to myself and to people that in my inner circle that I know. As far as everything else, yeah, whatever you see is what you get. Sativa for sure. I mean, I was a big indica guy in high school, but the older I get, I just like sativa. I can smoke a sativa joint before going to a club in Vegas and I'll be fine. Versus like a couple of times in my early 20s, I'm pretty sure Dreezy gave me a blunt full of indica, walked into the club. I was a wallflower, not talking to any girls, not even dancing. So definitely sativa. What are your thoughts on psychedelics? I think they're great. I mean, I haven't taken psychedelics in a while. I don't do it that often. The last time I took shrooms was like back in December of last year. But yeah, I think they're a great way to open your mind and kind of be more one with yourself. I don't like how I think you have to have if you're doing psychedelics, you have to have the intention of learning that, because of course I've taken psychedelics with no intention. I just wanted to get fucked up. But if you take psychedelics with good intentions of trying to learn more about yourself, I do see that as a way to, better yourself. I have friends that went to Peru and did ayahuasca, and they came back like more aligned with who they are. So yeah, all my thoughts on psychedelics are positive, not against it. If you can catch one last concert, who would you see? Dog, I want to see. I'm so sad Daft Punk is not doing their shit anymore, like doing shows. That's like one. Daft Punk's the GOAT of all electronic music, and that's just their setup. They're pioneers of the genre. So if they decide to do a reunion or do like one last show, I know they're a lot older now. I'm not sure if they're capable. I heard rumors of one of them being like deaf, so I'm not sure how that would work. But if that magically happens one of these days, I'm for sure catching that concert. Thoughts on religion? I think religion's fine. It's a way for people to believe in something that spreads positive views. Of course, there's some religions out there that are obviously evil, but if it's like something like Buddhism or Hinduism or Muslim or Christianity, like the bare bones of that, I know some of those religions can get a little how you can say, like there's very radical people of those religions, but if you just take the bare bones of all of them, essentially is just treat other people the way you want to be treated. And that's what I've taken. I grew up as a Catholic. I still practice Catholicism. I don't like go crazy on it, but I go to church once in a while when I need to meditate. I feel like that's where I need to go if I'm going through some things and I need to be one with myself and just speak in my mind and meditate. But yeah, I think religion is cool as long as you're not pushing it down people's throats. But if you want to have a conversation about it, I think it's positive as long as there's good intentions along with it. Have you learned anything from psychedelics? Don't do too much. That's the only thing I've learned. Reptilians real or nah? I need to do more. Fuck, I'm kind of starting to believe that there's more reptilians. I think they are real. I don't know to what degree, but the show Secret Invasion is kind of fucking me up. I think obviously governments or new world orders, they kind of show you hints. They're supposed to tell you these things because that's why they're claiming that they're not sinning, because technically they're telling us through media or movies or books or whatever. So I do feel like Secret Invasion is one way of them telling us that there are is another reptilian race out there kind of running shit in the background. What's your favorite hotel in Las Vegas? Definitely the Encore and the Wynn. That's my favorite. That's like not even just good times being in that hotel, but just how they operate. Steve Wynn is a pioneer in the hotel industry. So when he built that property, it was from top to bottom, even staff is on board. They have Forbes 5 stars. So they built a culture around that business, and people going, not just people that go there to stay and enjoy, but even the people that work there. I can feel that they truly enjoy working for that company. So that's why I like it. Because if you walk into like Harris or Paris or Flamingo, people that work there definitely don't like being there. That's for sure. Do you speak Tagalog? No, I wish. I need to learn to speak. I'm weird. Like my parents helped me understand Tagalog, but they never expected me to learn. So they always spoke to me in Tagalog so I can understand what they're saying, but they never made me say anything back to them or respond to them in Tagalog. So it's kind of weird where sometimes my fiance, she's Ilocano, so there's some Tagalog she wants to learn too, but it's hard for me to hear an English word and then translate it to Tagalog. But if I hear Tagalog, I can translate it into English. So my brain's kind of reverse. I wish even my mom kind of regrets kind of not teaching me how to speak Tagalog. She felt that at the time, maybe it was a colonial thing too because of the Philippines, but she felt that if I had learned Tagalog at a young age, it would put me behind in school. But that's obviously not the case. She was just, whoever gave her that information, I hate them. So, but yeah. What's your opinion on the use of analytics in sports betting? I mean, it's great and all, but at the end of the day, it's sports betting, so good luck. I think analytics are a great way to make an educated guess. But at the end of the day, it's sports, so you just never know. I do feel the sport that's has the best analytics to make the best guess is baseball. A lot of the analytics and stats in that sport tell a big picture and of what's going on and how to bet it versus basketball and football. I mean, yeah, there's stats, but it's so sporadic and the game is kind of moving at a faster pace versus baseball that you just don't know what's going to happen. Like the basketball bounces a certain way, football gets tipped a certain way versus baseball. It's one ball by one person being held most of the time. So there's a little bit more control in that regard. So I would say, yeah, if you want to use analytics, I would say use those analytical skills and focus that on baseball. And if you do know how to use that, holla at me. I need your picks. How did you become part of the cave? I submitted my application via K4V3.com. I'm just kidding. Yeah, Jarizi is one of my best friends. I grew up with him in Irvine. And naturally, I also met Jermaine and Danny in high school as well. Source Glory, Kyle. I worked with him at Cold Stone. So we're kind of just all in this Irvine Tustin community that we grew up in. And then, yeah, wanted to give my insights on sports and entrepreneurship. So started talking more about that. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received? Yeah, definitely from my pops. It was basketball related, but it also translates to life. I remember as a kid, I would be very hesitant sometimes when I'm making cuts or making plays. I remember specifically one time, I was going to go backdoor. If you know basketball, you know what a backdoor cut is. You kind of fake you're going up and you go backdoor. And I was wide open, but I hesitated. So I backed back out. But my teammate passed me the ball, trying to pass me the ball. But since I bailed out early, ended up being a turnover. And my dad after the game is like, don't be hesitant, just make your decision and go with it. If you don't worry about if you miss the shot or whatever, that's the best play to make at that moment. So be decisive, don't hesitate. And ever since I've learned that from my dad, I've been like that. Always be decisive. Try to, of course, I'm human. I'm not decisive all the time, but I try to go back to that lesson every time I'm in a place where I am being hesitant. So I gotta go with my gut feeling. If you could have superpowers, what powers would you choose? Damn. Definitely teleporting anywhere. That's like so. I just want to travel, and traveling requires money and requires time. If I can travel to freaking London right now or Maldives in a second and just be there for like a day and then come back home, that would be perfect. So definitely a teleportation. Favorite food? That is a tough one. Like favorite, is it a specific dish or like a type of cuisine? If I had to go type of cuisine, I would say Japanese food. Just top to bottom, all around, Japanese food is like you can get the fancy shit. You can go to omakase sushi and get like the freshest sushi and pay like $250 a head for like a 18-course meal by the sushi chef, or you can go cheap and just get like chicken katsu with curry or some udon or some ramen. So yeah, definitely Japanese food is my favorite. Can you cook? What's your specialty? I can cook a little bit. My specialty is grilled lobster and garlic noodles. Owning a lobster domus for a while, I definitely mastered the art of cooking lobster. So that's definitely one thing. That's definitely my specialty. I'm not a chef where you can give me a box of random ingredients and I'll just come up with something. I'm not trained that in that regard, but I am trained in and experienced in keeping a kitchen clean, how to work the line, you making the food based on the recipe that's given to me. If you give me a recipe, I'll pretty sure I can knock it out and I'll be up to par depending on what the chef wants. So yeah, I can cook. What sport would you like to try out? A new sport that I would like to try out. What is a sport? I mean, I think given my age right now and my athletic ability now, I think one sport that I would like to try out is tennis. I never played tennis ever, but I know the movement is very not somewhat similar to basketball. There's a lot of side to side movement, lateral movement, I should say, and it's like quick spurts. So yeah, I would like to try out tennis. It gets intense. Favorite drink. Favorite drink. Damn, what kind of drink though? Damn, we're gonna go like a regular drink, like something I'm not trying to get buzzed off of. I'll go. Fuck, that's tough. I'm split between Sprite and an Arnold Palmer. If I had to choose though, I would go Arnold Palmer for sure. Half iced tea, half lemonade. Now we're talking about a cocktail. I like my shit straight on the rocks, but if we have to choose a cocktail, I'm gonna go with an old fashioned. Love a good bourbon with some bitters and orange in it. If you can open another business, what would it be? Damn, I would love to open something similar to like Anaheim Sports Center or the Map. You just open your doors, turn on the lights, and people pay you rent for using the courts for an hour or whatever. And I get to be around the sport that I love the most. So that's definitely a business I'm seriously considering down the line. Um, Obviously, I just need the capital and the right partners for that project. But yeah, definitely something that I would like to open. How do you define success in business? If you're happy, honestly, if you're in business and you're making money but you're not happy, to me, I don't think that's success. I think success in business is if you're happy. Definitely, I've learned that's the one thing I've learned during my course of being a former business owner is yeah, being happy for sure. If you're not happy, then what are you doing with your life? Is the Illuminati real? Yes. What's something you would tell yourself, younger self, if you could? Don't spend that much money when you're having fun. Go out and have fun, but fucking don't buy rounds like you got it like that. That's what I would tell myself. Pre-game a little bit harder than I would normally do. All right, guys. So that's the Q&A with your boy Francis. Catch us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter at the K4V3. Also check us out on YouTube, K4V3 Media. You gotta hit up the website. We got some articles, we got some merch, K4V3.com. And if you want to get deeper with us, check out the Discord. The link's available on all our socials. You can find me on this Discord as Slava Medvedenko. So yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in. Hope you learned a little bit about me. It was great talking with you. Peace.